NBC Sports Exclusive is brought to you by Bud Light. The best has a taste all its own, a clean, distinctive taste you'll find in Bud Light. By Nissan, who invite you to see the new 1984 Nissan 300ZX, available starting November 14th at your Datsun dealer. And by New Skull Bandits, an individual portion of tobacco in a neat pre-moistened pouch. For tobacco pleasure without lighting up, it's a pouch instead of a puff.
And welcome to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, where tonight we'll watch a meeting between two NFC Eastern teams, the New York Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Frank Gifford, along with O.J. Simpson and Don Meredith. Howard Cosell on vacation after his tours with the World Series and the Battle of the Network Stars Sports Beat. He'll be back with us next Monday night, a week from tonight, when we'll watch Washington and San Diego in San Diego. And, of course, the big story, as it was last night in Dallas, is a change at quarterback by the Giants this time. We saw a young quarterback do well for the Raiders last night, Mark Wilson, but Jeff Rutledge is replacing Scott Bruner tonight. And the Giants saying they just want a little more activity inside close. They've had turnovers and they've had interceptions. The Giants kick off. Ali Haji Sheikh nails it and is taken deep downfield by George Schmidt. And Schmidt out over the 20-yard line, hammered and put away. And let's take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals. They are led by Neil Lomax, the third-year man out of Portland State, who became a starter as a rookie, but he's had a tough time this year. He was hurt in the opener against Dallas, re-injured his shoulder in the next game versus San Francisco. He missed 2 more games, but he came back last week and had a terrific game against Tampa Bay, 17 of 22, 166 yards. 3 touchdowns, the first time he had accomplished that in his career. And at one point, he was 13 out of 15. Make no mistake, Neil Lomax can put the ball in the air. A very gifted passer out of Portland State. First down, it's in St. Louis from their own 21-yard line. Stump Mitchell is in there, number 30. And this is Wayne Morris, the fullback, over the left side. And Wayne Morris picks up about 5 yards out over the 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5 as we look at the defense for the New York Giants. It'll change considerably. Their linebacking core has been hurt with the loss of a good one, Harry Carson, at inside linebacker, and they've been forced to use their all-pro Lawrence Taylor in a position where they really don't like to, and that's inside. You had to look at the secondary. They are hurting there, too, as Terry Jackson will not start tonight. Over in the right cornerback, Mike Dennis is there. And Otis Anderson, apparently out of the game tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. Their gifted running back. But Stump Mitchell has turned in some fine games in relief of Otis Anderson in the past. And here is Stump Mitchell right now, left side, and he's swarmed on over there by the Giants defense. Out at the line of scrimmage, and he'll lose about a yard and a half. D. Hardison rolling out from his defensive right end position. Both teams are 2-5. The Giants, after a big Monday night game, which we covered for you against Green Bay 4 weeks ago, in which they soundly crashed the Green Bay Packers, have lost 3 in a row. And they have lost it the hard way. They moved the ball rather well, but they get inside the 20-yard line, and something happens. Principally fumbles, and they've taken place mostly on the part of Scott Bruner, and they've got the interceptions. Out of the shotgun now, Neil Lomax, 3rd down and about 7. Lomax with a lot of time and a lot of room to run. He's got a wide open field. And wisely hook slides out over the 45 for a St. Louis first down up near the 48-yard line.
Slid into third base and made it. You got to do that every now and then. They had it pretty well covered. It looked like Stump Mitchell might have been open down the middle.
You take a look at the ISO, you'll see Lawrence Taylor is doing a little stunt inside, and he's not been able to be too flashy this year playing inside. He would prefer to be outside, trying to rush inside. He gets picked up by a couple of guys trying to catch Lomax. And
you know, sometimes it's hard to throw that first pass. So you go back there and you just don't want to throw that first pass. We watched Neil run. Man, that kid's got some moves. It was the longest run of his career, however.
Not a very long career either. 3 years. He is a youngster, but he is, again, has a tremendous arm. He was really hot last week against Tampa Bay. The first down is at the 48-yard line for St. Louis. Play action by Lomax. Flips back to the left.
There's the world coverage.
That was Pat Tilley, and it was Mike Dennis who was giving him about 20 yards. He thought Tilley was going to go deep. Tilley has great moves. He doesn't have the good speed. He's been the leading receiver for the Cards for the past 5 years. And that role has been replaced this year by Roy Green. And there's a Giant down, and the injured Giant on the field.
I've heard of respecting speed, but that was ridiculous with Mike Dennis back out there. He cut him off.
Jerome Sally, the nose tackle, is the injured Giant. They are looking at his left leg, and he was hurt last week, had to leave the game. The Giants have Jim Burt back, but they are really hurting a nose tackle with Bill Neal having gone out in the opening game of the season. We'll be right back. Here's Curtis McGriff. He was the injured Giant on that play. He has gone over to the bench, and he is in obvious pain. His spot in the lineup is taken by Leonard Marshall. Marshall, a rookie second-round draft pick out of LSU for the Giants. The Cardinals come up with a second down and 10. The ball at their 48-yard line. Up at the top of your screen, a very gifted athlete. That's Roy Green. Played both ways a couple of years ago for the Cards. Now he works strictly as an outside man. Tied for the lead in the NFL with receptions after 7 games, and Lomax goes right to him, Roy Green. And Green struggles to the 45-yard line of the Giants. It'll be a pickup of 7. He's in the arms of Mike Dennis, and you have got to believe that Mike Dennis is going to get quite a workout over at right corner for the Giants. I mentioned Terry Jackson, their gifted cornerback. He's been out with an injured knee, and stays out tonight. Mike Dennis, who usually works as a nickelback, has been getting quite a bit of attention over in that right cornerback spot since Terry Jackson has gone out. We've got a third down and 3 for the Cards. The ball just inside the Giants' 45-yard line. Stump Mitchell, the single setback. The single back offense puts the pressure on the defensive secondary. Stump Mitchell with a good move, breaks it down to the 35-yard line, goes down in the arms of Terry Kennard, who is starting a free safety for the Giants. Beasley Reese, of course, had started there for several years, and he asked to be waived last week when he didn't start. He was waived. He went to Tampa Bay as we watch Stump Mitchell once again.
Yeah, Stump wanted to go outside, but he read the blocks real well. He went inside. He must be a good back. He's carried the ball 25 times. He's averaging 7.9 yards a carry, and that's quite an average for any running back.
Got it figured out what's wrong with their offense. They don't give the ball to Stump on it.
Well, he's had some good games replacing Otis Mitchell in the past. He had one a year ago when he rattled off 145 yards against Philadelphia. I meant Otis Anderson, the fine running back who's not going to be in action tonight for the Cardinals. Here's a reverse, and it goes to Roy Green. And Roy Green covered about 60 yards to pick up a couple.
He went the wrong way for about 30 of those, didn't he? That was a reverse that the angle was a little too deep, Roy.
Well, Van Pelt read it real well, and he got blocked. He got outran, really, but he had the ball. He had the play defended real well.
Giants have fine linebackers, but they sorely miss Harry Carson on the inside right. Pro Bowler. He will be eligible to return from the injury reserve next week. But meanwhile, they have to work Lawrence Taylor both inside and outside. If they want him to rush the passer, they'll move him to the outside.
Look at that little quick hit.
Mitchell once again. He is tough to bring down. He's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line for another St. Louis first down. And teams have been running against the Giants and running well. Brian Kelly made the stop there.
Once again, this is almost the same. Well, it's a little delayed trap there. You see the guard come around 68, had nobody to hit, so the hole was humongous.
They did move. They moved out the nose tackle a little bit there, didn't they?
Jim Burt is the nose tackle for the Giants. He missed last week. They've had nothing but problems at their nose tackle throughout the first half of the season, the Giants. First down and 10. They marked it at the 18-yard line. That's Pat Tilley in motion. Stump Mitchell once again, and D. Hardison and Leonard Marshall were both there. There'll be a loss of a couple of yards on that.
Well, I think when they went in motion, they thought the corner would come all the way across. He didn't. Matter of fact, he rushed. Stump didn't have a chance.
And now, as we see so often with the Giants, they bring in George Martin. He is sort of their designated pass rusher. He's a defensive left end, number 75, and a good one indeed. He's always around the football. Not really big enough to play it consistently, the Giants don't feel. But he is a fine pass rusher. Second down and 12. Lomax, again, a lot of time. They had a safety blitz on, and he finally finds Stump Mitchell, underthrows, and it'll be third down and 12.
One of those situations that Stump was really covered when he looked out there. He moved a little bit. Brian Kelly moved off. up, he's wide open.
I tell you, St. Louis coach there, Mr. Hannafin, they didn't seem too sharp there. Doug Marsh was in motion, and the ball was snapped before he cleared the quarterback. He almost ran right into
Just about
Lomax.
got the handoff.
That's right.
Jim Hannafin, you had a quick look at in his 4th year. Word on Curtis McGriff, slightly sprained knee, could be back. 3rd down and 12. Lawrence Taylor on the blitz. He doesn't get good move into the quarterback as Lomax gets it to Schumann, but a flag is down. And there could have been holding on the part of the Cardinals.
Yeah, normally when they throw that flag there, middle of that line.
That time, Lawrence Taylor came from the left side, and the Giants are moving him around, trying to add a little effectiveness to him. He ordinarily is over that right side.
You can put him anywhere, and he's going to be all right. But look at this one right here. He says, wait a minute, fella, I am on my way. I have a message. I have something to do. That was leading.
Poor old Willard Harrell was trying to block Lawrence Taylor. Not your most effective maneuver.
Well, Lawrence, he loves it out.
Number 63, offense, 3rd down.
He loves it outside where he can get those halfbacks trying to block him. Inside, he can't run over those guards, and he only has 1 sack. Here's a guy who's noted for sacking the quarterback. He's been MVP defense for the last 2 years.
Penalty was on Tootie Robbins, starting at right tackle. You're right, O.J. As a rookie, he had 10.5 sacks. Last year, 7.5. This year, he has 1. 3rd down, a bundle, and Lomax will work from the shotgun. Blitz is on again. Lomax fires to Tilley. He'll be short of the 1st down at the 17-yard line, and we'll see the field goal unit.
Moved the ball pretty well there for a while, then kind of stumbled a little bit. Tilley does such a good job. One of the veteran receivers you see come back, open up.
Now they give us a late call. Penalty against the Giants, and that's going to have to be discussed by the Cardinals. The line of scrimmage is back at the 30-yard line. The preliminary indication was offside, so I'm sure the penalty will be declined, and the field goal unit will come out.
Well, I wouldn't decline it. They just give me another down. 5.
Well, there'd be 3rd down and about 16 at the 25-yard line.
Number 71, defense, penalty decline, 4th down.
Yeah, I agree with these fans that are booing. I mean, you give me 1 more down, I'll throw it.
Neil O'Donoghue comes on, 6 of 11. Pretty good distance, though. Pretty good distance kicker. He's 4 or 5 between the 40 and the 50, and this will be an effort of 34 yards.
He was briefly a teammate of mine. He came into Buffalo. He was a long holdout. They cut him after 5 games.
Kenny Perrin gets it down. O'Donoghue gets it up smartly. And the Cardinals are on the scoreboard first. 8:57 remaining in the 1st quarter. The Cardinals, their opening drive, settled for 3. We'll be back. Leon Bright settles in at the goal line for the Giants, waiting to kick off the Cards. Neil O'Donoghue has it set up. Leon Bright, a former Canadian Football League star that joined the Giants back in '81. Good return man, averaging over 25 yards on the kickoff returns thus far this season. He'll bring it out of the end zone. And Leon Bright hurdles out over the 20-yard line, where the Giants will have their first offensive possession with 8:48 remaining in the 1st quarter. And here he comes, Jeff Rutledge. He was an original Ram, came up in 1979 as a 9th-round draft pick. He has made 1 start before, and that was for the Rams against the Bears in '79. He actually, in the battle for the quarterback spot in the preseason between Scott Bruner, Phil Simms, and Jeff Rutledge, he actually performed as well or better than the 3 of them, but Bill Parcells settled on Scott Bruner. But he's going with Jeff Rutledge tonight, the former Alabama All-American, and Rutledge hands off to Ralph Carpenter. Little simple play, I think, just to let Jeff Rutledge get the jitters out of his system, if that should be the case. With the Rams in his career, he was 44 of 86 for a little over 51%, 4 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And the Giants acquired him last year when Phil Simms was unavailable. Carpenter got a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Ball at the Giants 24-yard line. Mulledy in motion, and Carpenter will try the right side again. And he is met after a pickup of a couple. The first man there was E.J. Jr. And E.J. Jr., of course, out the first 4 games of the suspension. because of a suspension for drug involvement, back and playing well. A good linebacker that the Cards are trying to make a middle linebacker out of.
He's really in an area where the Cardinals are probably the weakest areas are the linebackers and the secondary. And of course, E.J. Jr., as you mentioned, was out the first 4 games, so he may be a little rusty.
3rd down and 5 for the Giants. Shotgun. Rutledge back. Rutledge fires. A man is wide open.
Right there.
Right on target. That's Floyd Eddings. Now, he was just activated today, and he represents most of the speeds that the Giants have on the field. A former California star who actually ran a 40 in about 4.3. And he came up with and had a tremendous debut a year ago against Philadelphia. Let's watch again. This has got to make Rutledge feel awfully good, Don.
Both these boys were born in Birmingham, Alabama, and Eddings, when they were in high school, was the state decathlon athlete. And didn't go to the same high school, but have known each other all their lives. I bet it's kind of fun to do that. Throw that old
people back home enjoy it.
Big pickup. It gives the Giants a 1st down. 41-yard line of the Cardinals, and this is Butch Wolfo, and he's tripped up. Good defensive play. Coming up quickly was Lee Nelson, the strong safety, and there will be a loss of about 3 yards.
You know, you mentioned earlier about E.J. They're trying to make him a linebacker. It's a little unusual today to see a team play a 4-man down line. This team plays a 4-man line. They have one of the great defensive line coaches in the game, in Floyd Peters. He's developed some great ones. They may be better off if they don't have those linebackers to go to a 3-4.
Of course, he acquired Al Baker, the former All-Pro with the Detroit Lions, who worked for Floyd Peters. He wears number 60, top of your screen on the line. He worked for Peters at Detroit. Rutledge on the rollout, 2nd down, 13. Fires, and no, taken out of bounds. But that's one of the dimensions that Rutledge will give you that they did not have with Scott Bruner. He is much more active, much more able to move around. Fine athlete who broke Joe Namath's passing touchdown record down in Alabama as an All-American down there for Bear Bryant a few years back.
Yeah, you know, with all the new passing rules and all the situation defenses, everybody blitzing, I think you're going to have the type of quarterbacks they have in Canada that can throw the ball as well as run.
3rd down, 13. Rutledge from the shotgun. Missler in motion. The blitz is on. Rutledge reads it, has to get rid of it. Rutledge was really pounded.
He really was.
Coming in on the blitz, the 5th man, the nickelback, Cedric Mack.
Cedric Mack came in. There's unattended, as they say. Jeff looking right at him. Obviously hurried that ball. He hasn't been hit like that. That's another thing. You haven't played quarterbacks for a long time out in the regular game. He's going to be sore tomorrow.
Dropping deep now for St. Louis is Steve Bird. Dave Jennings, one of the fine punters over the years in the NFL, is back.
2 of the better punters tonight. Jennings can put that ball inside the 20 a lot. He may lead the league in that particular stat. Look at that. That had to be.
That one was off the side of his foot. A flag is down. Jennings down, and the Giants will get a 1st down. And Bob Harris, the linebacker that came in and really unloaded on Dave Jennings, and that's a no-no. Our referee tonight, Bob McElvey.
See, Junior coming in from the right side. He's not going to be the one. I don't see how you know what, Jennings just kicked it off the side of his foot, or Bob Harris would have blocked that kick.
Running into the kicker, number 50, defense, automatic 1st down.
Oh, poor Harris, he got a penalty and he got kicked in the face.
That's right. Get somebody else for this job.
Of course, if he had got a hand on that kick, it was all right. If you block it, you can go ahead and run into the kicker, but he didn't. It was off the side of Jennings' foot. Sure not by design, but it worked out well for the Giants. They keep the ball, automatic 1st down. The ball inside the 39-yard line of the Cardinals. The Giants down 3-0. 6:32 remaining in the 1st quarter. Rob Carpenter, single setback for the Giants. Wolfo flanked out. Little short roll on the part of Rutledge. He fires. Mulledy could have had it, but it's incomplete.
Would not have gained very much had he caught that ball a couple of yards.
The ball appeared to get away from Rutledge there. It was kind of floating out there.
That's good. You know, to think about both these teams being 2-5 at this stage of the season, I think surprised a lot of the preseason picks. The Giants certainly were expecting a better season, and I think the Cardinals were too. They thought Baker was going to make a big difference. Of course, with O.J. Anderson, you've got a pretty good start with your offense right there.
Second down and 10. Cardinals showing blitz. They drop out of it. Woolfolk right side. And a collision over on that right side. You can hear all the way up to the booth. It was Jeff Griffin up there first, and he got a lot of help. A gain of perhaps 3 yards.
El Butch was a little upset that time. He went around there, thought he was supposed to have a guard, and his guard didn't get around. Was out there naked.
Well, there's a lot of other things that have happened. They have been down inside the 20. George Young, the general manager, and a fine one indeed, has kept track of such things. They've been inside the 20 as often as the Washington Redskins. They'd like to say the same thing about the record, but that's not been the case. They just have not been able to get it in once they get down close. It's third down and 9 as they've marked the ball at the 38-yard line. Rutledge had a man wide open coming across the middle. It was Carpenter, but it was batted away by Dave Galloway.
We saw Ed Jones intercept the pass last night with a similar situation. A lot of times they'll keep those big defensive ends in there, keep an eye on the back. They drop off, quarterback can't see him.
I'm a little bit surprised that the Giants are bringing Dave Jennings out on fourth down. Ali Haji Sheik, we saw it down at Giants Stadium against Green Bay, kicking 156 yards. That would be just about the distance, maybe a little more. But we'll see Jennings once again on fourth down. Steve Bird has dropped for the Cardinals. Jennings, of course, will be looking for the corner. He is very good at getting it out. He's got the right spin on it. He'll have it inside the 20, but not as near the goal line as Dave Jennings would like, I'm sure. They'll mark it somewhere around the 15-yard line, and we'll be back at Busch Stadium right after this. St. Louis leads the Giants 3-0, 5:34 remaining in the first quarter. Frank Gifford, O.J. Simpson, Don Meredith. This time last night in Dallas, we had 438 points at least. First down and 10, the Cardinals. They have the ball at their own 14-yard line. Roy Green in motion for the Cards. And this is Stump Mitchell. Boy, he's finding big holes on that right side. He just explodes for 9 yards. Out close to the 23-yard line. Taylor had to make the stop, but he had to make it in pursuit.
Yes, we do.
It'll be second down and 1. I mentioned Stump Mitchell having that super game a year ago when Otis Anderson was out of the lineup. And again, if you just joined us, Otis Anderson hurt his shoulder against Tampa Bay a week ago. They decided after he couldn't work out yesterday that he would not go tonight. This is Wayne Morris, hard-working fullback up there trying to get the first down. He'll be very close. Again, this will be dependent upon where they mark it. Leonard Mitchell, or rather Marshall, in on the stop for the Giants. And it's close enough that we're going to get a measurement. Cardinals again 2-5, Giants 2-5, and unfortunately these teams will both be thinking about nothing but wild card opportunities, and that's at this point in the season, midway, maybe a bit of a fantasy because they're in the Eastern Division of the NFC, and that includes Dallas and Washington, and Dallas is 7-1, Washington 6-2. ABC Sports Beat coming your way again this Saturday. Emmy Award-winning Sports Beat. Howard, the host, going to take a look at Fairview A&M, and they call a youngster down there White Lightning. And what's it like to be the only white basketball player in an all-black conference? Well, Howard will get into that. Bill Bradley, of course, a Rhodes Scholar, professional basketball player, United States Senator. Well, another man coming along to follow in his footsteps, Tom McMillan. Howard will have that story for you on Sports Beat Saturday. First down and 10, the ball close to the 25-yard line for the Cardinals. Picked off. Picked off and down the sideline. That's Bill Courier, and he did not step out of bounds.
Bill Courier came all the way across the field that time, following Green, who was in motion. Lomax, I don't think, ever saw him.
We were wondering from way back, and he stepped right in front of him. It was a nifty pickoff.
He did a great job. We were wondering why they punted. Well, they are going against the 25th rated offense in the league here. They felt they can keep them down there and scored with the defense. Been seeing an awful lot of this year. A lot of defensive backs are getting in the end zone this year.
Mark Haynes was the man covering, and it just turned out that Bill Courier was a free man, and I'm sure that Lomax took a look at Haynes playing way off, decided he could get it in, and Courier picks it off and goes 29 yards for the touchdown. Ali Haji Sheik for the conversion. Bill Courier with his first NFL touchdown, and he's been around this league for a while. Started with Houston, went to New England, and now with the Giants. He's been 7 years in the league, and he gets his first touchdown tonight. The Giants take the lead. Ali Haji Sheikh set to kick off for the Giants. Sudden turn of events for the Cardinals. They took their opening possession, drove down to within the 20, settled for a field goal. The Giants, Bill Courier has picked off Neil Lomax, 29-yard touchdown. Ali Haji Sheikh, it's a big foot into it. Steve Bird, a rookie from Eastern Kentucky, will bring it out. Out over the 25-yard line to the 26, where it'll be first down Cardinals. Also coming up on Saturday, college football here on ABC. Regional coverage and some good ones. Penn State going against Boston College. Penn State with that big victory over West Virginia. Joe Paterno finally turning it around. Boston College, and again, I love to watch their quarterback play, Doug Flutie. North Carolina goes against Maryland. North Carolina ranked number 3 in the nation. Washington against UCLA. Regional college football at its finest right here on ABC Saturday. 26-yard line. They marked it first down and 10, the Cardinals. Roy Green strict to the left. Stump Mitchell up the middle, and Stump Mitchell goes down in the arms of Leonard Marshall, the rookie out of LSU.
First time they've been able to stop Stump tonight.
Yeah. There was a time they said a guy his size, stature, couldn't make it in this league. He's only 5'9", 188 pounds.
I'll tell you, he's hurt right now, and he's coming out.
That could really hurt him.
That's probably why they say they couldn't make it in this league.
They're going to get hurt a lot.
Stump Mitchell is out. Otis Anderson unavailable tonight, although he might be available if they get down to where they have to use him. I know they don't want to. Otis Anderson with a very sore shoulder.
That's just one shoulder. They can just run him the opposite way.
Mitchell got a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Draw play. Wayne Morris. And Wayne Morris, he's right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be third down and long for Neil Lomax. It is Leonard Marshall again defensively for the Giants. Jim Hannafin, been around a long time. Now in his 4th year with the Cardinals. They've had a few coaches here at the Cardinals. He's the 28th they've had. They haven't had that many quarterbacks.
And Don Coryell was here. He put together really exciting football for St. Louis fans.
And a couple of divisions for them. They have only had one winning season since 1976. Great pressure. The blitz was on. Larry Flowers, the nickelback, right in the face of Neil Lomax. He got rid of it, avoided the sack. Let's take a look at Flowers. Now, he really pounds Neil Lomax.
Well, the blitz was timed so perfectly. There's just no one there. Lomax didn't have much of a shot. Maybe he could have moved a little bit. That would have been my instinct. Move.
Carl Birdsong will kick to Leon Bright, who doesn't know how to fair catch it. At least he's gone about 96 times without having fair caught a ball. He's paid for it dearly. And you're looking at Carl Birdsong, almost a 46-yard average, leading the NFC into tonight's action. So a fine punter and pretty dangerous return man. Back to the Giants, Leon Bright. This time it doesn't turn over for Birdsong. Bright steps up. Didn't make the fair catch, and he's hammered just as he took the ball at the 40-yard line. Hustling down there was Randy Clark. And of course, they study films on the special unit teams, and they know that Bright is not going to fair catch the football. Time remaining in the first quarter, and the Giants on top 7-3. They have a first down and 10. The ball at their own 40-yard line. Jeff Rutledge making only his second start in the NFL as a quarterback. Replacing Scott Bruner, who had tough sledding in the first half of the NFL season. A lot of controversy over the quarterback situation for the Giants throughout the first part of the season. That ball thrown out of bounds, incomplete, intended for Ernest Gray. And for those of you who have not seen much of the Giants, this is Scott Bruner, 6'5", 200-pounder out of Delaware. Won the job basically in preseason, even though it was very close. Phil Simms came in a couple of weeks ago in relief of Scott Bruner. He had a compound dislocation of his thumb. He could be gone for the season. But Bruner had trouble. He fumbled the ball 4 times in the last 3 losses, all of them inside the 20-yard line. He's had 7 fumbles for the season, and he's thrown his share of interceptions. So we are looking at Jeff Rutledge tonight. This is Butch Wolfolk, the former All-American from Michigan. He'll get 3 yards out of it. It'll be third down and long, and put Rutledge back into the passing situation. That's Jim Hart.
Yeah, Jim's a good buddy. Known him for a long time.
18 years in the league.
18 years in the league. 39 years old. He's still got that baby face. You know, I mean, he still doesn't look like, hey, I can go play.
He's getting a little more face, though, I noticed.
Well, that's
under
true.
the chin there.
That's true. He had that actually coming in, that big old baby face.
They're down 7, so the Giants will work from the shotgun. The ball at the Giants' 44-yard line. Missler in motion for the Giants. The blitz is on. Again, Rutledge is going to be pounded.
By the same guy that pounded him
before. Hit once again by Cedric Mack. And they must be reading something because Mack started about 3 or 4 yards deep in the secondary. And Rutledge, I guarantee, is not going to take too many shots like that to stay on the field.
You got to admire the fact he knew he was going to get hit. He stood in there. He didn't throw a great pass, but he stood in there, waited for his receiver to get open.
You got to have somebody quickly to go to when that blitz comes in, and he just didn't have anybody out in those short routes there.
He was just flat lucky that Mack didn't get him straight on. He caught him with an arm tackle. Dave Jennings on for the Giants to do the punting. 1:44 remaining in the first quarter. Steve Bird, 5th-round draft pick out of Eastern Kentucky, is back for the Cardinals. Jennings puts it up high and deep. And it'll be Bird.
Good defensive coverage.
Good swarming defense.
Larry Flowers was down there.
Larry Flowers was down there. Also Frank Marion. And the Cardinals will start in the hole. 44-yard punt. Little news release tonight by UPI. For those of you who might be interested, and there's a lot of people interested, I know. The Dolphins coach Don Shula said tonight, according to UPI, he is no longer interested in a $1 million a year offer from the New Jersey Generals or the fledgling United States Football League. Don Shula says, everyone's bugging me. The first question I had after a winning game against Baltimore was, what are you going to do about the offer from Donald Trump of the USFL's Generals? He said he is no longer interested.
Don, I think we left the game a little too soon. Coaches turning down $1 million. Rumored that Mark Wilson turned down $850,000. Where are we?
I think we got the just
Illegal
right.
block above the waist. Number 48, going a run back. First down.
Illegal block by Lionel Washington, so the Cardinals will start even deeper in their own territory, inside the 6-yard line.
I'm happy to see Shula make that decision. I don't know whether he'll stay in Miami or whatever he'll do, but I think, you know, $1 million or whatever it is, Shula's done such a terrific job coaching in the NFL. Got a great record. Kind of happy to see him hang around. He's got some money. He's making good money.
Stump Mitchell back in the lineup for the Cardinals, number 30. Apparently he's all right. And this is Stump. Whoops.
Whoa.
Stump tried to put the brakes on, and the feet came out from under him. Down he goes, and I understand why, because he was looking right in the face of Lawrence Taylor.
You can see him still limping there a little bit. And while we're watching him limp, I want to tell you this. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
That mean you bench me?
No, it means that you just can't do that. You have to check with a lot of people if you want to see this again.
There's a loss of a couple of yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 12 as we're in the final minute of the first quarter with the Giants on top, 7-3. Single setback is Stump Mitchell. 4 wide receivers are in. And Lomax finds Stump Mitchell out in the flat. Mitchell trying to stay in bounds, working for the first down, and he steps out short of the first down. And it'll be 3rd and short for the Cardinals.
He did a good job moving with that sore ankle that time.
I tell you, old Stump is built low to the ground. He's got the quick feet.
Keeps grabbing his left thigh like he may have suffered a bruise at the thigh, but he stays in the lineup. And Neil Lomax will be faced with the 3rd down and 2. Cardinals really put it together last week against Tampa Bay. And the man who pulled it off was Neil Lomax. 17 of 22. 3 touchdowns against Tampa Bay. That's the first time in history or career he has pulled that off. Out of the I formation on the 3rd down and 2. Stump Mitchell gets a good block out in front by Morris. And I don't think he's going to get the first down.
Good defensive pursuit there, closed it off, led by a lot of those guys in the middle.
And it's always Taylor, isn't it?
They really see he's always around it. For years, the Cardinal offensive line was anchored in the middle by Dan Deerdorf, and Dan's not playing tonight for some injuries. And that offensive line is hurt. You've got to have some holes to open up. You got to have time to throw. And
well, they made major changes tonight, the Cardinals. They're like the Giants defense. They've had a lot of problems with injuries. The Giants on defense. The Cardinals have had it in their offensive line. They're starting Randy Clark tonight at center in place of Deerdorf.
And Tootie
Robbins over right tackle. There's Leon Bright. He lives dangerously.
Leon's not too bright when he just he doesn't free catch one after 97 kicks.
Time has expired here in the first quarter. Not terribly eventful. It'll pick up. We'll be back with second quarter action after this. We begin the second quarter. Possession doesn't mean all that much. The Cardinals had the ball for 10.5 minutes. In the first quarter, the Giants had it for 4.5. The Giants lead 7-3. Bill Courier on the interception and the return for a touchdown. Birdsong to punt. Bright has to back up close to his 30-yard line. Leon Bright, again, no fair catch, and he gets 5 yards on it. A 55-yard effort by Carl Birdsong, the leading punter in the NFC. We'll take a look at the numbers for the first quarter. Mostly the Cardinals. Total yards, 84. They just exactly doubled the Giants' output.
Yeah, for the fans who didn't like our last 2 games, it's their kind of football.
Bringing them back to reality. First down and 10. The Giants. Ball at the 36-yard line. And there's another Giant being helped off the field. Mike Whittington. Rob Carpenter now single setback for the Giants. Butch Woolfolk flanked out to the right. Mulledy in motion, and here comes Rob Carpenter. Got some good blocks. Tries to cut back against the grain. He gets about 6 yards out close to the 42-yard line. It'll be second down and 4.
Rob's been slowed a little bit by injuries this year, too. He got off to such a good stop. That's Whittington on the sideline. Boy, when they start fooling around with those knees, tough, scary.
I think Rob Carpenter is one of the more underrated backs in football. It's amazing how much he looks like a former Cardinal, Jim Otis.
Hadn't thought of that. There is a resemblance, isn't there?
Second down, 4. The blitz is on. Woolfolk.
Good move.
And Woolfolk up close to a first down. Perhaps a foot short. Woolfolk into the night over 300 yards rushing. Carpenter, the leading rusher, with close to 300 yards coming into tonight. Rob came up from Houston in '81, and he really put the spark in the Giants. He, of course, unhappy down there when Earl Campbell came. He didn't get many calls down there, but he came up in '81, and he tacked up 748 yards, and then he put together another 222 in the playoffs, and he's a fine running back, and he's a good receiver out of the backfield. Rob Carpenter. Third down, less than a yard. Carpenter gets the first down, working over the left side behind Brad Benson. So the Giants now working on the ground. Giants rated 9th in the NFC offensively.
It's kind of a misleading figure based on what you talked about earlier. They've made a lot of yards, but they just haven't made that many points.
It really is interesting. I've been watching them over the weeks. They'll get down inside the 20, and they had the San Diego game all but locked up and suffered a fumble down there in close. Carpenter left side again, and Carpenter this time he's in Cardinal territory for a pickup of 5. A flag is down. E.J. Jr. defensively on the stop for the Cardinals. Cool night here in St. Louis. And the Giants are going to be backed up. Well, that's hometown enthusiasm for you.
They really have been down on lately. They haven't had a sellout here for a while, and it's funny, you know, people just seem to like winners a little bit more.
Illegal block above the waist. Number 25, offense, first down.
That's Butch Woolfolk. And the Giants are backed up to their 37-yard line. It'll be first down and 20.
Well, they haven't taken out the brown paper bags yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, they got in the playoffs last year with a 5-4 record. I mentioned earlier that's their first winning season since 1976, and they had not been in the playoffs since 1975.
Just
first down 20. Mowat, the tight end, in motion. A slow developing draw to Woolfolk, and he just does this all on his own. He was actually nailed behind the line of scrimmage, and somehow he spun loose, got to the 40-yard line for a gain of about 2 yards.
Just got word that Mike Whittington, the Giant linebacker that we saw a moment ago, they were tending to his knee. It is a twisted knee and probably will not be back tonight.
Boy, they have been hurt at linebackers. They've now lost Whittington. I mentioned Harry Carson out. Second down and 17. The Giants right at their 40-yard line. Rutledge has missed on his last 6 pass attempts. The blitz is on the second and long, and Rutledge is in a lot of trouble. It was E.J. Jr. just tossing Rutledge to the carpet. They'll bring that back. E.J. Jr. is a football player. He really is. They would love to play him in the middle, and they like to use him on the blitz. He's a little bit like Lawrence Taylor. He's quick, and he shows it right here.
And that's just one of those mistakes. Got to be a mistake in the line. You saw the offensive guard lining up right in front. That was J.T. Turner. J.T., you don't want to just let him run right by you, fella. You got to do something.
He certainly didn't fool anybody. He didn't disguise it at all.
It's a little embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Third down and 28. Taylor figures he's going back to work very shortly. And you got a third and 28. That's pretty thoughtful. Rutledge tries to get it to Mike Miller, the speedster from Tennessee. Incomplete, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Jeff Griffin was one of the defending Cardinal backs back there. He ran into one of his own men and took a pretty good lick. He jumped up and run off. It's running off there. Run off there.
Dave Jennings again. Steve Bird. There's Steve Bird. Ordinarily, we would see Stump Mitchell back there, but since he's playing for Otis Anderson tonight, we are watching the rookie out of Eastern Kentucky. Sliding catch by Bird, gets to his feet. And a good move by the youngster as he gets out over the 40-yard line, where the Cardinals will take over. A punt of 37 yards, a 6-yard return. And Lomax brings out the Cardinal offensive unit. Back at Busch Stadium. They did not have a sellout here in St. Louis. Therefore, their blackout is in force here in the St. Louis area. Neil Lomax, it's over first and 10. The ball at his own 40-yard line. Cardinals trailing 7-3. Man is open, and it's Roy Green.
Couldn't turn it up.
There's an athlete. I mentioned 3 years ago he was playing both offense and defense. He picks up a 35-yard first down for the Cardinals, and they'll be down near the Giants' 25-yard line. Let's watch him.
Coach Hammond said, I saw him running routes out there as a defensive back one time. He said, I looked at that guy, said, that guy can be a starting receiver. And he did play. As I think you mentioned, he played one game, caught a touchdown pass, and he was still playing defense, and he intercepted a ball in the same game.
He sure did. He averaged 29.5 yards a catch at Memphis State, NCAA record.
On first down, Lomax quickly to the air, and he fires it. Gets it in to Pat Tilley, and this is the kind of catch and the kind of pattern they like to use Tilley on. He'll come down with the football. Doesn't have that great speed, but he has concentration. He has good moves, and Lomax is right on.
And this is one great catch. The ball was thrown hard. It was thrown behind him. He caught it. His teammates call him Polygrip.
Polygrip. Doesn't let anything
ability
go.
to grab that ball.
No pressure for the defensive line of the Giants. They've got to do something about that.
That usually comes when they blitz. And Stump Mitchell is to the outside, and down goes Stump Mitchell.
Mitchell, the ball carrier.
Just about the line of scrimmage. Again, Lawrence Taylor and Bill Courier defensively.
The old Stump likes to cut back. Normally he would cut back. That was one time he would have been better advised to have cut back.
At the New York 13.
Ankle or knee or whatever it is. We've seen him limp home. Probably
I think he's really hurting now. He's just walking off the field.
Number 40, Randy Love. In for number 24.
He keeps grabbing that left leg, and I think he might have himself a pretty good Charlie horse on the left leg.
It's a long way home. I'm taking a long way home. It's going to take him a long time to get there, Stump.
There'll be a single setback now. Randy Love will move up into the slot. Second down and 10. Lomax tries to get it to Roy Green, and we may have pass interference against the Giants. He was working against Mark Haynes, and a flag went down.
Yeah.
Holding number 54, defense.
Andy Heaton.
Sandy Hedden, Don. He's
That was close.
a real surprise. 8th round draft pick.
Holding number 54, defense. Automatic first down.
That wasn't the kind of surprise they wanted out of him, but he has performed awfully well. He came up, did all kinds of things athletically down at Clemson, and they put him in against the Jets in preseason, and he came up with 3 sacks in that game, and he is a fine prospect out there. He gets caught for holding, and the Cardinals will have a first down goal to go. The ball near the 7-yard line. Stump Mitchell, he's going to try it again. He's back in there. Just had to sidearm that out into the flat. He was being pressured, and again, it was Bill Courier on a safety blitz.
They're really not getting any movement by that defensive line, Frank, and you're right. To get any pressure back there, they're going to have to bring linebackers, as we saw that time, a safety man. And that's so important. You just got to have some kind of pressure from that defensive line. You've got some time to throw that ball. And down here close, it just takes one quick little cut. That receiver's wide open.
But they went a great deal to Doug Marsh, their tight end, when they got in close against Tampa Bay. As a matter of fact, he had 2 touchdowns down in close. So we might be advised to keep an eye on number 80. Second down, goal to go. Stump Mitchell, left side. Gets to the outside, and Stump Mitchell carries it into the end zone.
That was a good move, Stump.
The little man is tough. He really is.
Really good, hard running. That was just to the outside. He knew which way to go. That's north-south, running north-south.
He's going out on the left side.
Courier, 29, takes a shot.
Made a real nice move there.
That was Andy Hedden that knocked Courier off.
There's a pair of big plays now for Andy Hedden.
That's right. Both of them for St. Louis.
O'Donoghue for the conversion as the Cardinals retake the lead. And the Cardinals back out on top. They lead the Giants 10-7. We're in the second half from St. Louis. The Giants and the Cards, and we'll be returning in a moment.
Stump, way to go. That was a good run.
I'll tell you it was, and he's broken some big ones already tonight, Stump Mitchell.
He must have got some encouragement on the sideline, because the way he was walking the play before, I didn't think we'd see him any more tonight.
I thought he was leaving for the night.
It's a trick. I've seen you use that same trick. Oh, I'm hurt.
33 yards for Stump Mitchell on 7 carries, and O'Donoghue bangs it down to Leon Bright. And Leon Bright, he could have kept his feet. He would have had a lot more yardage, but he gets up to the 28-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Giants. Kurt Allerman tripped up Leon Bright.
Run, Leon!
Those are the numbers and plays involved in the scoring drive for the Cardinals. Washington and San Diego, and I'll tell you something, the Chargers have also been bedeviled by injuries. I don't think Fouts went yesterday. I don't think Muncie went yesterday, as they were defeated by Denver. They know they're going to have to win this one next week against Washington, or they can say sayonara to the AFC West for the year. 1st down and 10. Giants. Rob Carpenter out in the flat, and upended and then hammered down at the 35-yard line by Lee Nelson. Let's pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
AMBC TV, Channel 9, Kansas City, Missouri.
I'll tell you, when he was in college, Neil Lomax put up some numbers that's hard to believe. He passed for over 13,000 yards. He had 12 400-yard games, all at Portland State. He was something. 2nd down and 4 for the Giants. Carpenter, as a flag goes down, Carpenter goes down at the 40. That would be yardage enough for a 1st down. We'll see Who's going to get the call, and the Giants collect another hold.
And I was just about to say they've got their offense figured out. You throw on first down to Carpenter, then give it to him on second down and let him run. The coach must say, what is going on out here? Bill Parcells. 2 and 5. Boy, what you had in mind was it, Bill, at halfway point.
Holding, number 60, offense, second down.
Brad Benson over the left side. And to Bill Parcells' credit, he had really nothing to do with the injuries that beset his team defensively.
Now, wait a minute.
It really is the truth. Lawrence Taylor, they lose him on the outside. They have really lost a weapon. It was the weapon that gave them one of the finest defenses in the league.
Well, why don't they put him back outside and just leave him there?
Yeah, because they have nobody put inside.
Well, put him in the middle then.
Well, put him where he plays best, I guess.
Second down and 14. The rollout by Rutledge. Another flag is down. And that ball intercepted out of bounds, intended for Mulledy, but there is a flag down.
Benny Perrin was the number 23, the guy that intercepted the ball for the Cardinals, but it was out of bounds.
Again, a referee tonight, Bob McElwee, getting things sorted out.
Personal foul.
Personal foul against the Cardinals. This could be what it is. Woolfolk, running from the flanking position, is popped pretty severely over there by Jeff Griffin.
Yeah, I would call that personal.
How personal as you'll get.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 35 defense, hit to the head. First down.
Well, it certainly was unnecessary. First down, Giants up close to the 40-yard line.
You know, it's good that they call those penalties now. When we played, they'd have to shoot you before you can get a personal foul penalty.
One of the things, though, they can only hit them one time now.
Rob Carpenter, single setback. That's Mulledy in motion. Play action by Rutledge. And he sent a flyer out in the general direction of Ernest Gray, the Giants' leading receiver, who's yet to come up with a reception tonight. There's an old quarterback.
They need a few of those on the field today.
What, old quarterbacks?
No.
Oh.
Werewolves.
Werewolves.
Somebody get out there and eat somebody up.
Second down and 10, Jeff Rutledge. Not getting off to the start, I'm sure, that he anticipated and wished so desperately for. Rob Carpenter gets outside. Pass running. Carpenter up to midfield. He'll have a Giants first down.
I think that's what I'd be trying to do, is figure out more ways to get it to Carpenter. Let's see what he's the guy that's going to carry him down there.
Well, all they have to do is turn around and hand him the ball.
That shouldn't be that difficult, should it?
Those are the last 3 games, and of course they're losing efforts. The Giants got off to a pretty good start. Rob Carpenter particularly had a good start. And he gets the first down at midfield. Carpenter once again, right side, and it works well again. And Carpenter inside the 45-yard line of the Cardinals, a gain of 6.
Just turn around.
Or he's upended by Junior.
Just turn around and hand it to him. That's it. Not a very difficult game, really.
I'll tell you, it'll make the passing game a little bit easier for Jeff Rutledge if he can keep working Carpenter as successfully as he has.
You know, really, that's true. In my opinion, the Giants have not thrown what you'd call your kind of high percentage of completion passes. They strung them out a little bit.
Second down and 4. Carpenter, once again, another flag is down, and he goes into that area where you generally get the holding call. Bob Harris made the stop.
Carpenter makes the first down.
McElwee gives us the hold.
That's got to be confusing. Frustrated.
So the Giants will be backed up once again. They would have had about a third down and 1, and Bill Parcells obviously incensed with what's happening on the field.
I don't think you...
Holding, number 60, offense.
That's 2, Brad.
Brad Benson has a pair.
Coach is talking to the officials, giving them a hard time. giving them a hard time. You don't get anywhere arguing with those officials.
That is right.
Ernest Gray, top of your screen. You'll see him on a deep shot somewhere along the line. He's got the speed, and he's having a good year. Rutledge gets it back to the big tight end, Mowat, who became a starting tight end mainly because of his blocking ability, a free agent out of Florida State. He's taken out of bounds by Bob Harris. We're in the second quarter, 7:28, and the clock is rolling right along, as they had blown the whistle before Mowat got out of bounds, and he's got a little bloody nose somewhere.
Yeah. He must be pretty good, though. He must be an excellent blocker, because the Giants had draft choices on the 3rd and 5th rounds. They drafted tight ends, and here's a free agent came in there and beat both of them out.
Actually replaced Jerry Shirk, who'd been there for a long time. 3rd down and 9. Ball right at midfield. Whoops, somebody must have moved offensively, and Cardinals appear to be offside, but they are
57.
saying that they were drawn off, and they were. Gilliard, the left guard, pulling the cards off. And the Giants will back up 5 more.
All start, number 67, offense. 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down and 15 now. The Giants back at their 40-yard line, or they marked it just over the 40. Call it 3rd down, 15. Cardinals play that 4-man down, but they play a man over the center with it. Al Baker pressuring on Jeff Rutledge, who had to unload it. This is what Al Baker did so well for Detroit over the years. As a rookie, Al Baker, number 60, you'll see him again, had 23 sacks for the Detroit Lions. And he was playing under Floyd Peters, who's now the defensive coordinator for the Cardinals. And boy, I'll tell you, he unloaded on Rutledge.
Gordon King was blocking and trying to push him out away from Jeff. Didn't quite get him out far enough. Jeff didn't step up.
Baker, a very quick man at 6'6" and 260 pounds. There's Steve Bird. And here's Dave Jennings. Jennings puts it up. Hangs there for a while. And here comes Bird. And Bird almost popped to daylight. And he'll have a Cardinal 1st down out at the 29-yard line. 41-yard effort by Dave Jennings, and the Cardinals will have possession when we come back. It's a very subdued crowd, not a sellout crowd here at Bush Memorial Stadium. I think much of it has to do with feelings of all Americans around the country. The terrible tragedy that took place in Beirut, Lebanon yesterday. And of course, there was a minute of silence before the game, and it's a little bit of a carryover. They, of course, had the same moments of silence throughout the NFL yesterday. On 1st down and 10. Wayne Morris, right side. He'll get a couple of yards. Up there quickly was Terry Kennard from safety. He was in there along with Brad Van Pelt. Brad Van Pelt's been a great athlete for the Giants over the years. They got him as a 2nd-round draft pick when he was one of the great All-Americans ever to play at Michigan State, because everyone thought he was going to go into baseball. The Giants brought him in. They put him at safety. That didn't work out. They tried him at tight end. They finally got him on the outside. 5 times he's been at the Pro Bowl.
6'5" and 235.
One of the finest linebackers I've ever played against. And he still plays the run excellently.
2nd down and 8. Blitz is on, and Lomax will go down.
They're going to have to do that. Lawrence Taylor.
He gets his 2nd sack of this season.
I would say that, he's really the best athlete, I would say. He may be Van Pelt, but turn them loose. Those are the guys, you got to let them go and play a lot of different positions, and that's what they've been doing this last few series of downs.
Yeah, he's unbelievably quick for somewhere around 235, 240 pounds. He plays every play like it's going to be the last one. 3rd down, 15 following the sack, and Lomax has second thoughts. And he moves back into the shotgun. We'll get him a little further back. Blitz again. And Lomax delivers, is picked off. Brad Van Pelt.
What good timing, Frank.
To the 30-yard line. the fingertips of Pat Tilley into the arms of Brad Van Pelt.
Ball appeared to be maybe thrown a little bit behind him. Couldn't see for sure, but anyway, it did kind of bounce up and out. Where's the pressure come from? The other side.
Lawrence
Taylor again. When they know he's in the area, the ball was a little bit behind Tilley. Tipped. Of course, Van Pelt is in position.
That really is defensive teamwork, though. That won't ever show up in the statistics. You got Taylor in there forcing Lomax, who's a good passer, to deliver it behind Tilley, who can handle. You get the turnover, and the Giants have a first down inside the 30-yard line of the Cardinals. 10-7, the Cardinals lead with a little more than 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Wolfolk is in motion. Rutledge underneath the Wolfolk. He can get 6 easy.
I think he is.
Well, not too easy, but he gets it. No, they take mark it inside the 1-yard line.
Now, how in the world does the referee see that?
I don't know, but he was a Big Ten 200-meter champion, great speed, and Wayne Smith ran him down. It looked like he was going to get in easily.
One of the big differences on this one is he's got some time to throw. Wolfolk came in on a kind of a drag or delayed route, and there they go. They're off to the races.
Well, Smith didn't really run him down. He was upfield on him. I was surprised Butch didn't go in low. If he'd have got a little lower, he would have went right into the end zone and scored.
I think Butch thought he had it easily also. Good play by Wayne Smith. First down, goal to go inside the 1-yard line. And Rutledge tries to move behind J.C. Turner on the right side.
Oh, no.
Cardinals are saying no way. They might have pulled the ball out of his arms.
Look who comes pulling.
Giants maintain possession. They do not get into the end zone. You saw the official indicating that they had retained possession.
Yeah, that would have really been a downer for young Jeff Rutledge to get down there on the half-yard line trying to get this offense going. And then,
well, that's what they've been doing all year long. They get down close and they've been turning it over.
What about, let's give it to Carpenter.
I think you might see that right here.
Let's give the ball to Carpenter.
Second down, goal to go. Mulledy sets up on the left side. Hello, Ralph Carpenter. Giants touchdown. And the Giants retake the lead.
Well, Danny, we figured it out a lot earlier.
Yeah, but you throw the Carpenter on first down. Let him pick up about 7 or 8 yards. Then let him walk slowly back to the huddle and then give it to him on a second down. He picks up a first down. Cardinals.
Well, they're here. That's what counts.
That's the good news and the bad news story right there.
Ali Haji comes out for the Giants. And he has been a great find for the Giants. 9th-round draft pick out of Michigan. He drills it through the uprights. 4:33 remaining in the first half. Rob Carpenter puts the Giants ahead once again. The turnover provided by Brad Van Pelt. The Giants take it in. Big pickup by Butch Wolfolk. Carpenter takes it in from inside the 1-yard line. Ali Haji set to kick off. Steve Bird is deep for the Cardinals once again. And this will be Bird from the 1-yard line. And Bird out to the 20 before Frank Marion is there for the Giants. So the Cardinals offense again comes back out. Cardinals 2-5, Giants 2-5. Cards lost 3 in a row because most people feel they have lost their quarterback Neil Lomax with his shoulder. They lost to New Orleans, they lost to Dallas and San Francisco, then they beat Philadelphia, they lost to Kansas City and Washington, and last week when Neil Lomax came back, was healthy once again. They put on quite a show and they beat Tampa Bay. 20-yard line for the Cards, 1st and 10. Stump Mitchell, he gets outside.
You know, I think the Cardinals have also figured out they're going to let Stump run with it.
I would. As I said, he came into the game averaging 7.9 yards a carry. He's got to be over 5 yards tonight. Made a good adjustment, got outside right away. Good runner.
Byron Hunt kind of got hooked in there a little bit.
He is really quick. He is not really flat out speed, but he is a quick one.
I like that.
Reference, of course, to owner Bill Bidwell. The Cardinals have had their down years. Last year, however, they did get into the playoffs. They were wiped out by Green Bay in the first round of the Super Bowl tournament as we watched Tom Mitchell over the right side. Yardage for the first down out close to the 33-yard line. Stubb came up in '81 as a 9th-round draft pick. And he's been doing good things for the Cardinals ever since. Good return man, but he's not seeing that duty tonight with Otis Anderson on the bench. I'll tell you, the Giants have really been bedeviled with the injuries. There goes Curtis McGriff. He's number 76, and going off the field with him is Mike Whittington. We'll try and get a report. We're going into the training quarters at the moment. First down and 10. Ball near the 33-yard line of the Cardinals. Mitchell slips, but he saw Bill Courier coming in on the blitz. Tried to turn it inside. He goes down. He'll lose 4 yards.
Well, we can say they miss Otis Anderson, but the way Stump is running tonight, they don't miss him too much tonight. They need a passing game. They need to figure out one way to stop Bill Courier from blitzing. He's been coming in from that left side all night long, and they've done nothing to stop him.
Courier also has one of the Giants' touchdowns, a 29-yard interception. Second down and 14. Cards now at the 28-yard line. Mitchell, a single setback. That's Doug Marsh, the tight end, in motion. Lomax is back. Flag is down. I think we'll get another hold. This is LaFleur. Cards in their double tight end, and again the flag is down.
Had some extra time to throw. Van Pelt had him pretty well covered at one time, and then after a delayed move.
And holding once again against the Cardinals.
What you'd call a
Crisply played game.
That was the word I was looking for. Crisply played game.
Holding, number 70, offense, second down.
Art Plunkett, the right tackle.
We've already had 8 or 10 penalties,
but they're evenly distributed, so
pretty much, yeah.
Now the Cards are all the way back to their 18-yard line. They have a second down and 24.
They are even.
They might be looking at another Giants blitz. Yeah, here comes Hunt.
Trying to get a screen up. Another holding.
Get the flag again as Greg LaFleur was all by his lonesome in what should have been a screen, but nobody got out in front of it. Lomax just threw his hands up in the air and said, oh, no.
Another holding.
Another holding against the Cardinals. A lot of times a player will take that extra chance at holding after team has been called, just figuring that they're going to intimidate the officials and they can get away with it. If they won't call consecutive holding penalties, there's a little fallacy in that right here.
Oh, I don't understand. You know, Neil Lomax.
Number 68, offense, second down.
You know, Neil Lomax, he went to Portland State. He played in that run and shoot offense. They roll out a lot. They get away from the blitz. We've talked about it in previous weeks. You would think they'd be rolling out a little bit, taking a lot of the pressure off their offensive linemen if their offensive linemen can't handle this pass rush.
That was Terry Steve. And now the Cards are all the way back inside the 10-yard line. Second down and 33. That ball bobbled, picked up by Stump Mitchell, and he is twisted and hammered out of the 23-yard line.
You see him run a
Brian Kelly was in there with a big hit on Stump Mitchell.
You see him run a play like that, and you know they're going to run a draw. I mean, and that draw always picks up some yardage. 10 yards or whatever it was. They say, okay, now you still got 3rd and 20.
There's another Giant linebacker that really has labored with all-pro consistency in the middle of that line. Brian Kelly, number 55. While Lawrence Taylor and Brad Van Pelt over the years have been getting most of the recognition, Brian Kelly is always there, as he has been for 11 years. We got 10 minutes remaining in the first half from Bridge Stadium in St. Louis. The Giants leading the Cardinals 14-10 in a battle of 2 Eastern Division of the NFC teams. And again, both of them thinking in terms of a wild card, but both of them in that same division with Dallas at 7-1 and Washington at 6-2. Third down and 18. Neil Lomax out of the shotgun for the Cards. Blitz is on, but Lomax keeps people in, and that ball was knocked out of his hand by Lawrence Taylor. They're going to say it was incomplete, but Lawrence Taylor reached around a blocker and knocked that ball right out of Lomax's hand, even though it was in some kind of a motion towards a pass. Let's take a look.
He's back there. I'm going to say it again. I don't think he's getting much help from the sideline. It's apparent that he can't get the block and he needs to stay in the pocket. They need to send in some rollout plays. And this kid can do it.
What an outstanding effort by Lawrence Taylor, man. He had two men blocking on him, and as he was falling down, reached back and knocked that ball.
And he's convinced that he knocked that ball out of Lomax's hand before the arm was in motion.
I think he did too.
Here's Carl Birdsong, fine punter for the Cardinals. Leon Bright, very respectfully, is back at the Giants' 30-yard line. There's Leon. High kick, it'll be short. And that ball hit a Giant, I believe.
I thought it hit one of the Cardinal players.
It was a Cardinal.
Yeah.
And it will be dead at the side spot of the foul, which is what happens when the kicking team touches the ball at the 44-yard line. We'll be back with more action after this from the National Football League.
We always travel with our staff.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the Cardinals, Terry Steve, and the National Football League. The Giants with the lead, 14-10, 1:42 remaining in the half, and they have 3 timeouts. They have a first down at their own 44-yard line. Rob Carpenter, the single setback. Rutledge keeps him in. The block has the time, and he fires. It's complete to Mulledy. And Mulledy inside the 30-yard line. He'll have a Giant first down. Eddie Perrin up there defensively, and the Giants hustle into the huddle as the seconds tick off. They want to conserve those 3 timeouts. They are already within field goal range for Ali Haji Sheikh. Ball right at the 28-yard line of the Cardinals. Carpenter, left side, gets close to the 25-yard line, and Jeff Rutledge finds the official, indicates he wants timeout, stopping the clock at 1:06. We'll have highlights for you from action yesterday. And while we have time and we take a look at Ali Haji Sheikh getting ready, if he is needed, let's go out to the Kingdom in Seattle, Washington for action from yesterday, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks. First quarter action, no score. Cliff Stout, quarterback, hands off to Franco Harris. And what a day he had as he draws ever closer to Jim Brown. 132 yards on the day for Franco as he put Pittsburgh out in front 7-0. Dave Craig came in the fourth quarter with Pittsburgh leading 24-7. He got a rally started. He replaced Jim Zorn, and he promptly hit Steve Largent for a 21-yard touchdown pass, and Pittsburgh's lead was cut to 24-14, and it even got closer. Here's Craig back once again. Looks over the middle, finds number 85, Paul Johns. Back in the back of the end zone, 27-yard touchdown, but Pittsburgh held on to win at 27-21. The 2 quarterbacks from yesterday's action. And can't talk about yesterday's action without talking a little bit more about last night. That was some show from Texas Stadium.
Well, we were talking about, everybody was saying, what happened to the defenses? I mean, everybody's saying, well, is the rule changes or whatever it is. What's happened to the offenses tonight? Maybe it was just the teams we were watching. Maybe it's just different players.
Now we've got 24 points up on the board. The Giants threatening once again. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Jeff Rutledge looking over a second down and 7. Oh, from behind, Jeff Rutledge is hit by Bob Harris, a surprisingly good 8th-round draft pick out of Auburn. He's one of the reasons the Cardinals think they can move Junior to the inside, because Bob Harris has turned into quite a performer. He played that spot, and Junior was out, and he was suspended for those first 4 games, and they've got themselves a fine. They're inside the final minute of play, but the Giants have 2 timeouts. It's 3rd down and 16 now for Rutledge, as they lengthen things out for Ali Haji Sheikh. Rutledge, if he was touched, they'll mark it right there, and he was. At the 44-yard line, it was Big Dave Galloway. Rutledge went down, and while he was down, Galloway put a finger on him, and that's all he needed to do. And now, the Giants have worked themselves perhaps out of field goal range.
I would think so. Look at it again, because Frank said all he had to do is touch him.
Rutledge slips down. He's on the carpet. If he's touched it all, and that,
I think he did touch him.
that was a very close call. It did not appear that he did. It brings up 4th down, and rather than seeing the field goal team, and the Giants had the ball all the way down at the 28-yard line, we are going to see Dave Jennings.
I bet you we see him let it run down, because we have 30 seconds to go in the half, 23 seconds on his time clock.
And he'll even take a penalty if he has to. I mean, he's far enough downfield that he can afford to let it all tick off. He's doing just that. He might try and snap it just as the 30-second clock gets down close to 0. And it's approaching it right now, so they get the snap off. They did not want the Cardinals to have any more time than they could avoid. And Jennings prevents the run back. The Cardinals will have the ball at the 19-yard line with 2 seconds remaining in the half. From the reverse angle, maybe we can take a better look at it. This is Galloway coming in, number 65. All he has to do now is touch him. And if he touched him at all and he went down, then it's the sack.
And a part of that is the officials are trying to protect the quarterbacks. If it's close, got to call them both ways. You know, sometimes they get away with it, and sometimes they're sacked too quick.
Barring a quick bolt of lightning, the Giants are going to go into the locker room with a 14-10 lead over the Cardinals. Just 2 seconds remaining. And obviously, Neil Lomax has been told just let it expire. Crowd doesn't like it. But there isn't a whole lot you can do from inside your 20 with 2 seconds remaining. So that's the story at halftime from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. The Giants over the Cardinals 14-10. We'll be ready for halftime highlights after this from our stations.